Okay, now we're going into a single leg stance, and this is really working the intrinsic muscles of the foot, making sure that we can maintain an arch and a neutral position, of which we will then go ahead and progress to a turnout position, and with other dynamic movement. So to do this exercise, you need two things, and they're very simple. You just need a pen, and then you need either a paper clip or a penny, some kind of coin works really well, or something that you can feel on the ground, because this is going to go underneath your toe. So what you're going to do here is you're going to put the paper clip underneath the big toe. You're going to then put the pen right at the arch, right after the abductor hallucis here. Now, here I have myself in a doorway. This works the best because then you have a point of reference. You don't necessarily need it at the beginning whenever you're just trying to focus on balancing, but when we get into the more dynamic movements, progressions, you'll need something as a baseline, that way you can go and reach your goal. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take one leg off, and we're going to hold. And ideally what we want is the short foot action of being able to contract the arch and hold that without lifting up the toe. So a lot of times you can see a short foot if I lift up the toe, and you see that my arch raises. But we're going to try to maintain that while keeping the toes down, but without curling them. So the paper clip is to ensure that you're constantly feeling something under that toe, meaning that you are keeping the big toe down. The pin is there so that you do not touch it. That is the goal. So we want to feel the paper clip or the coin. We do not want to feel the pin. That means that we are collapsing too far into the arch, or pronating is another word you'll hear. So from here, we're just going to work on standing, and you can have arms here, you can have them crossed, you can have them out in the T, and we're just going to focus on holding that position. Again, we're starting in neutral. Again, we want the hips into full extension, a natural curve of the spine, no tucking, no arching, but in a good neutral position. Hips, again, for the leg that you are elevating, you want to make sure your hip is in height. There's y'all. So make sure that we are in a neutral pelvis squared position. So then from here, to make it a little bit more challenging, I'm actually going to add a little bit more motion to it. Again, I'm staying in neutral for right now, for demonstration purposes. So here we are. I'm then going to take my arms and put them out in a flex of 90 degrees, and I'm going to rotate towards the opposite side. Now, as you can tell, you're going to have a little bit of motion going on in the ankle, and that's okay. But when you start to feel the pin, that means we have a little bit too much. So we always want to make sure that we're trying to avoid the pin. That's the workout we want in that middle of the foot. So here I go. Twisting the upper trunk. And back. Another motion you can do is a port de bras. Going back, you can go back into the opposite side of the leg that you're working as well. Now you can also take this, what we've just done in the neutral position, and apply it to your turnout. So from here, turn out at the hip. Make sure you're placed in the doorway at the proper level. Put the paper clip or the coin underneath the toe. And again, we're just going to first start out at holding. Making sure that we're not pronating inward too far, but that we're upheld, pushing down through that toe, equal weight amongst all 5 toes. And then to make it a little bit more challenging, I'm going to add the rotation. As you can tell, that's going to make it a little bit more challenging. Just go to that limit, as much as you can control, and back. That's about as far as I can get before I start losing control.